In STEM, it's often good to think about reproducibility. We know that LLMs include deliberate randomness when they choose among the possibilities for the next word or token, according to the predicted probability of each next word or token. If we set the temperature to 0, though, the LLM will just pick the word that has the highest prediction and not use probability at all for that. We would hope that that would make the LLM's output perfectly repeatable. But it turns out there are other sources of randomness due to the various ways that computers work that are much harder to get rid of. I haven't found a way to set or even report the temperature setting in the free AI tools that most people use. I think that if a company is paying for a professional version of some AI like Google Gemini Studio, then there's a way to set it. I did find this free interface, Hugging Face Playground. You can choose some models to use and set their temperature and a few other parameters, then give the prompt to those models and see what they say. I decided on a silly query like, what is the capital of Antarctica? Let's see what we got. So I went here and I can click on a model and I can set the temperature to 0 here. Um, there's other things called top P that we might want to think about too. And then I can click on this other model. Let's go with cheapest. And I've got the temperature set to 0. So then I'll just give it this prompt. What is the capital of Antarctica? This is free for very basic use. You don't have to reproduce this demonstration, but if you're curious, you can give it a try. Um, and this model came back pretty quickly, about a second. This one is kind of doing some thinking behind the scenes, although it's showing us the thinking there. And then it comes up with its final answer. We could go back and see the thought process if we wanted. I did this before and screenshotted the results. You can see them in the logbook. I opened a new tab and ran it again and screenshotted the results and also copy pasted them. So I know it's too small to see here on the video, but here in the plain text, I've highlighted the differences that I spotted between the versions. So for the Llama 3.2-1B instruct model, whatever that means, Llama is by Facebook or Meta. First of all, let me point out it says the capital of Antarctica is not a country. So that's not grammatically correct or not actually true. It's kind of a weird way to say things. You could say Antarctica is not a country. The word exploitation here in trial 1 got changed to extraction in trial 2. Here in the last paragraph, does not grant any country sovereignty over something versus does not establish a single capital city. So not massive differences, but also not exactly the same. The other model we tried just switched country with sovereign state. So there aren't huge changes, but they aren't perfect copies of each other. What are the other sources of randomness? We might be curious. Well, there are other things that can go on when an LLM decides what token to output next. Sometimes there's one called top P and top K. Sometimes those involve their own randomness. Different types of hardware can give different numeric results, and your request to an LLM out there in the cloud might get routed to one type of computer or another based on which ones are busiest at the moment. Overall, this is a very hard problem to solve for people at the level of our class, including me. Perhaps my best advice is when you're doing a formal study, save each prompt that you give it the LLM and save its output. Don't just say, oh, I can just go run the same thing again and get the same answer again. Here's some very, very optional reading. It's at the graduate student level for computer science students. But if you did want to read more, it's there for you.